We've got a great guest in the studio today. Yesterday was all about God of War and this massive game with a massive team. Today we're talking about more indie-sized projects out there, and we've got a great indie developer in the house. His name is Jason Canam, and he is from Household Games, speaking of house, which is based in Toronto, and their brand new game, Way of the Passive Fist, has just hit the market, and he is the co-founder of the studio and also the creative director of the game. Jason, did I get your last name right?
Yes, exactly right.
Oh, perfect. I thought, wait a minute, I didn't check with you to make sure, but okay, Jason Canam. So, Way of the Passive Fist, I talked to you last year at Game Developers Conference, and I got a kind of an overview of what you guys were doing there, this fighting game where you tried not to fight. It was more about sort of reacting to some conflict. But it was an interesting concept, but it's actually out, and I've played it now, but it's out in the world. How is it going?
It's going really well. You know, it's exciting to release a game. We're really glad that it's out there. And, you know, nowadays it's really exciting that you have more ways, more opportunities than ever to watch people playing it. Yeah. They're streaming it, they're recording it and putting it on YouTube. And that's awesome. So you can see players' reactions in real time. And as a developer, that's awesome. Like, that's really, really great. You don't just have to wait on reviews. You don't have to wait on getting emails, which are always great. You don't have to wait for forum posts. You can see every day, real time, people enjoying the game. It feels awesome.
That's so cool. Well, it's one of these games where you load it up and there's a lot of familiar elements in it. You feel like, okay, I know this. I've played a game like this before. But you haven't, because once you start playing it, it's like a totally, different set of rules and a different way to engage with the software. And what are you getting in terms of feedback from players out there? Are they picking it up pretty quickly? Because I didn't. I have to confess. I put it on. I streamed it on EP Live, which was the wrong way to first play the game, because I was chatting with people and trying to figure it out, and I was like, I am so bad at this. But I'm curious how people are finding the controls and the mechanics in your title.
Certainly, it's been really interesting. The entire development was interesting because we had an idea, and we knew that we wanted a game that was based around defying expectation, which is a really lofty goal to set out to do. But now that it's been released, and we had many opportunities to showcase the game at great shows around North America like PAX, PlayStation Experience last December, and we took all that feedback to heart, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing something. We're indie, so we like to push boundaries, do things that are different and unique, while making something that's approachable and that people would find really enjoyable. They would want to play, essentially. So we're learning that players are getting used to it, and that's usually the typical reaction we get is someone's like, oh, it looks familiar, it sounds familiar, like I know I've heard this game before, I've seen this game before, but then they realize they haven't played a game like this before.
Which is awesome, man, and congratulations to you guys, because it's really hard. At whatever scale, it's very hard to bring out something that feels different in this space. It's such a crowded medium. There's lots of great ideas floating around out there. There's lots of opportunity for new ideas, but it's so refreshing when those happen, and that has happened with Way of the Passive Fist.
Yeah, and we're really glad about that. And we've gotten lots of feedback, which has been great. All feedback is appreciated. Anyone who takes the time to reach out to us, and that's like in all forms, we take it all to heart. We've communicated with the community, we have lots of back and forth going, and we want to work on, we're working on making it perfect for as many people as we can.
That's cool.
But at the end of the day, like I said, we wanted to make something that defied expectations, and when people are taken aback, we kind of want to get across like that. That was the intention. And if you're, maybe not confused, but if you're unsure for just a few moments, that's kind of what we wanted. We kind of wanted to put you in an uncomfortable position briefly, and we found that people who stick with it wind up like really feeling fulfilled. Like they're like, oh yeah, no, I had to change the way I think about fighting guys, but when I did, I beat them, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm in the right mindset. And it is the kind of game where players who get over level 1 just start taking on the rest of it, and they're ready for the challenges they fight.
That is awesome. When you were putting together, first of all, for those that don't know, we've got some footage that we're running in our interview here, but describe what Way of the Passive Fist is.
Sure. So it's designed as an old school arcade beat 'em up, which are some of my favorite games. Specifically, I really wanted to tap the visual and audio style of the ones that were based off of comic books and cartoons. So there's lots of classics like your Final Fights and your Streets of Rage. But I really wanted to tap the essence of Turtles in Time, X-Men, even Simpsons, which is why it has, instead of the grimy street fighting aesthetic, it has the like cartoon, colorful aesthetic.
Right. It's not Streets of Rage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More Turtles in Time, less Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Purposefully, because, kind of wanted that Saturday morning cartoon feel.
Yep.
And even though it takes place on like a desperate desert planet, it's about raiders and marauders, there's still a reason not to inject a little bit of color into that.
Sure.
But the way the gameplay is you don't just throw out mindless punches. It's not just about button mashing. It's about parries, which I'm a big fighting game fan as well.
Yep. And
for me, I think parries are cooler than punches.
Yeah.
Like my favorite clips whenever I watch competitive Street Fighter, competitive Mortal Kombat, it's those turnaround moments I think are the coolest.
So you leaned into that, and when I played it, I kind of clued into Punch-Out a little bit. It felt like a little bit of a fusion of the mechanics, the rock paper scissors mechanics of Punch-Out, fused with a Turtles in Time type of scrolling beat 'em up.
Punch-Out's a very good thing to mention as well. Yeah, exactly. We want to teach people that it's about taking your moment out, watch what the bad guys are doing, you'll learn their pattern, and then you'll just take them all out. Because, it's about reactions. Carefully observing and reacting and just making all of their efforts futile. Like,
that's awesome.
They're going to try so hard to beat you, and you're going to beat them every time.
And have you already zeroed in on some of the best players out there? Like, I'm imagining that maybe some fighting game players are really good at playing this game. They get the timing perfectly right away.
Based on, when we were touring the game around pre-launch, we did find out that players who were fans of fighting games, they were predisposed. They kind of came equipped with the knowledge.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we would meet players who would say, "Oh, I don't even understand what a parry is."
Yes.
We're like, "Oh, yeah, no, we can explain. It's a block." There's ways of describing it for people. But when someone instantly clues in, they go like, "Oh, you're saying parry? Done. Got it."
Nice.
I've downloaded the information. I already know what to do. So, yeah. And, we've seen players sharing online, their best combos, their best strings, their best fights, which has been really cool.
That's awesome.
And
what happens when you beat the game? Did you guys unlock extra content to sort of replay it or extra difficulty levels?
It's a game that one of the things that we did with the game that's not traditionally done with a brawler is we do give you ratings on every fight you do.
Okay.
So it's a game that's designed that we say for players that are really into it, just like typically fighting game players or a lot of players is striving for perfection.
Yeah.
Trying to get through every fight in the game without a scratch. So everything's replayable. You can revisit things, and we reward players who take the time to kind of master things and then can get through the whole game without a scratch.
That's awesome. So the game is out now. It's on the PlayStation 4. It's on the Xbox One. It's on the PC. Is it coming to the Switch?
It's something that I can say that we would love to explore. So we don't have any news right now. We don't have anything to say about that. But speaking to what we released it on, and myself, I can speak to my own personal experience. I'm a gamer who owns every console.
Yeah.
I love every console. So I can say it's a personal goal of mine, but we'll share news if we ever have it.
Got you. And are you finding you've got a player base building up on any one console right now, or is it kind of evenly split right now?
It is really evenly split, which we're very happy to see that. I personally believe multi-platform releases are important.
Yep.
Especially for
an
indies.
Indie team. Yeah.
Yeah. We want all players to be able to experience the game. We don't want anyone to miss out.
Yep.
So we're doing the best that we can to do that, and we're seeing that players have been receptive to that too. Players from all different communities are taking part, which we're also really happy about.
Could you see this thing work on iOS and Android as well?
That's also something that we would look into. Yeah. I have some experience in my career working on iOS and mobile games, years past, and a specific type of game works really well right there.
Yeah.
But that being said, just how I kind of talked about the game kind of is based in a cartoon universe, we've always said that we feel that the universe is perhaps bigger than this one game.
Got you. Interesting.
We definitely feel like we have a universe, so maybe we have things to work with.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about household games. It looks like we may be in a household. Or you?
Yes. Yes. Household games is a household operation. We're an indie team based in Toronto, and the core members are spread about different parts of the GTA.
Yeah.
We work from our homes in that kind of true indie style.
And you use the internet to just kind of share the development of the game, and you go back and forth, basically online.
Yeah. We work remotely. There's no end to really great tools for communication, collaboration. We can share everything on a moment's notice nowadays. Luckily, there's no problem sending huge files back and forth and sharing things in real time online. It's really cool to do, art collaboration in real time over the internet. It's a non-issue, and it works really well for us.
That's awesome, and that also explains why you were so open to being on our show on Skype today. You had the technology, and you were able to make this happen for us very quickly. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. This is how I operate my day-to-day. So yeah, virtual conferencing, absolutely.
That's awesome. I know one of the cool things that you did with Way of the Passive Fist is you took an arcade machine and you traveled all over the damn world with this thing, didn't you?
Yes.
Does that still exist, and can people still find it somewhere to go and play the game that way?
Oh yes, it still exists. Right now it exists in one of the homes of my co-founders.
Yep.
We plan on trading it within ourselves, our own homes, back and forth for a little bit.
Yeah.
And no, we definitely, it's a thing that we built to share with community. So we bring it down anytime we're traveling. If we're showing at a show or we're going to be at something, I imagine in the future as well, when we're ready to show our next game, if we're at PAX, we're going to have a nice big PAX booth where we're showing our new game, and we'll always have the Way of the Pacifist arcade cabinet, and maybe we'll build a stable of cabinets. We don't know what the future holds.
You know who has a ton of space in Toronto? Ubisoft Toronto has a ton of space in Toronto. Oh. And there are so many great indie developers out there. I feel like you guys should all make a bunch of your cool indie games in arcade cabinets and set up a little arcade at Ubisoft Toronto, and then meet there and invite the rest of Canada out to come and enjoy it.
That is a pretty good idea. I have good friends at Ubisoft, and they are really great industry leaders, and they're great in the city. They've been awesome for the city of Toronto as great leaders for the development scene.
Well, there's something in the water out there, because you guys have got so many great creative ideas, and I know you're friends with the Guacamelee team, and Nathan Vella and his group over there as well, and. It's great to see, and I have to say congratulations again. And I am still digging into Way of the Passive Fist. I'm not ready to give my review on the game yet or anything, but I have loved this story and have really enjoyed getting to know you. And I'm proud of you guys. Way to go!
Well, thank you very, very much. We're glad to be part of the indie development scene. Indies stick together. I've learned so much from people in the past. I've had many a mentor, and thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's great to have this moment where we have our game out, and we're really proud. And I'm proud of the team that helped me put this together.
Awesome, man. Well, looking forward to finding out what's next from you guys when you're ready. And you should go out and check out Way of the Passive Fist, everybody.